Okay guys, this is FLN 16. We're continuing on with our statistics, measures of center. So when we're saying measures of center, we're talking about a data set and how we measure the different ways, the different ways of measuring the center of that data set. So first we have mean, and mean is just the average. Okay, so that's when you take all the numbers in the data set, you add them up. Remember I talked about last week that this summation symbol, this means I sum all the numbers in the data set and I divide it by the numbers in the data set. So that's the mean. It's just taking the average of all your data. The next one is the median. And the median is the middle of all your data sets. So that's when you take all the numbers, you put them in order numerically, and you find the number that's in the middle of them all. If there's two numbers, if it's an even, then you take the average or the mean of the numbers in the middle, and we'll go over an example for that. So that's median. It's the middle numbers. So for example, and then the last one is mode. And mode, to spell that correctly, mode is the one that has the most often data point. So if I had, let's say mode happens the most frequent. So those are the three things we're going to talk about. We're also going to talk about an outlier. An outlier is when your data has something that's really high or really low, far outside the range that is normal for your data set, and it can skew your data. Okay, so let's say this is our data set, 8, 5, 6, and 9. First, how do we find the mean or the average? I add them all up, so I have 8 plus 5 plus 6 plus 9, and I divide it by the number of data points, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to divide that by 4. And 8 plus 5 plus 6 plus 9 is 28, and divided by 4, and what is 28 divided by 4?
7.
7. So the mean, the average of this is 7, and you guys can add this together to make sure I'm right. The next is the median or the middle. So now I put these in numeric order. I've got 5, 6, 8, and 9. And where is the middle of this data set?
7.
I have these two on the end, so this is my middle, okay? So I take those two numbers and I calculate the mean of these two numbers. So that's 6 plus 8 divided by 2, because there's two of them, and that is going to be 7. So my median is 7 of this data set. And the last one is mode, most frequent. We don't really have a mode here. We don't have a most frequent in this data set, so I would not be able to have a mode. But let's say, for example, this had a 5 here. Then the mode would be how often something happened. And the 5s happened the most frequently. So my mode would be 5. Okay, so you might be asking, what's the point in this? Why do I need to know the mean, the mode, and the median of a data set? Well, here I have an example. Let's say you were on a track team, and there's 8 people on the track team, and you all run the 50-yard dash. These are your 50-yard dash times. Veronica runs it in 8 seconds, William in 7 seconds, Rebecca in 7 seconds, James in 10 seconds, Danny in 15 seconds, Andy in 6 seconds, and Sabra in 7 seconds, and Bruce in 8 seconds. This data, as it is here, doesn't tell you much about your track team. It doesn't tell you if it's a great track team, if it's a fast track team, if it's a slow track team. We really need to analyze the data to see, so that we can tell people, hey, we've got a fast track team, or hey, we've got a slow track team, or we're okay. So the first thing we're going to calculate is the mean, or the average, okay? So what is our average speed on this track team? What is our average time that we finish the 50-yard dash? I just take all of these times and add them together. So that is, I have an 8 plus 7 plus 7 plus 10 plus 15 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8. Now I divide that by the number of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I divide that by 8. And when I do this math, when I add this all up, I get 68 divided by 8. And 68 divided by 8, it's 8.5 seconds. So does that tell you much? We have some people running 6 seconds. What we know is that on average, the average time that we finish the 50-yard dash is 8.5 seconds. Maybe we want to delve into the data a little bit deeper and find the median. So again, when I do the median, I put them out in order, in numeric order. So I have a 6, I have a 7, I have another 7, I have another 7, I have an 8, I have another 8, I have a 10, and I have a 15. 15. Now those are all my times. Now I come to the middle of them. These two cancel out, these two cancel each other out, these two cancel each other out, and here is the drop dead middle of my data. Since this is an even number, I'm going to have to average these two to find the median. So I have 7 plus 8 divided by 2, which is 7.5 seconds. That's my median. So you can see my median is a full second faster than my mean, my average or mean. So that is telling me, wait a minute, this might be a pretty fast team. We might have some outliers here. The next one we want to calculate is our mode. So when I calculate mode, again, I look at my data set. I've got a 6, a 7, 7, 7, 8, 8, 10, 15. And what is the one that happens most frequently? What is the data point that is the most frequent? I have 3 7s. So my mode is 7 because I have 2 8s and the rest only happen once. So my mode is going to be 7 seconds. Okay, now for data analysis. What does this tell you about our team? If the most frequent number is 7 seconds, that tells us we're pretty quick. I think the world record is close to 7 seconds. So this is a pretty fast team. So if we have a 7-second mode, that means it's fast, but the median is a little bit higher, telling us, well, we do have a fast team, but we also have some slower outliers that are pulling it up. And the mean is telling us the same thing, that we have these 10 and 15 out here on the edge that are skewing or pulling the data to slower time slots. But if we look at this, we can see we have a pretty fast team. So that's why people use mode, mean, and median to look at data, not just averages, because the outliers can really pull your averages off.